What's up? It's New Haven, and this is a story about how I lived out of my car for a year to pay off my debt. A while back, way before I produced music at all, I worked full-time as a software engineer. And to make a long story short, I knew at this point in my life, this is not what I want to be doing. This is not how I want to spend my life. I don't like this. It makes me kind of miserable. I don't find any fulfillment in this job. And so I was kind of looking for any way possible to get out of this or figure out what it was I needed to do to find something else to do with my life. And I would think, what is it that is keeping me from leaving this job like today? What is it that is keeping me here right now? And the more I thought about this and ruminated on it, it was really nothing too abstract. The answer was actually really simple. It was debt. Like any good American, I had accumulated a pretty good amount of student debt by going to college and getting my undergrad. And now that I was out and I was working a job, I was on the line to pay it back. So I had to continue to work this job that I was deeply unhappy in order to stop from accruing an insane amount of interest on this student debt loan. I felt like I had fallen into that great societal trap. I felt like I had lost my agency and my autonomy as a human being by being indebted to this financial institution, and I didn't like that at all. So here I was sitting in this pretty nice apartment that I was paying pretty good money to live in, and I just thought to myself, man, if I didn't have to pay this rent and utilities, and I could just take that money that I'm spending every month paying rent and utilities living here and just throw that at my student debt, man, I would have this paid off no problem. But how would I do that? I need a place to live. And then the thought dawned on me. I'll just live out of my car. Don't need to pay rent or utilities if I'm living out of my car, so that's what I'll do. I'll live out of my car. At first, that thought seemed absurd. I was driving my late grandfather's 2002 Buick Century, so yeah, not ideal for car camping. But the more I thought about it and the more I let the thought ruminate, the more it made total sense to me. All I really need is food, water, shelter, a place to use the bathroom and the shower, and I was already showering most mornings at the gym at this point in my life. I just thought, if I forsake all normal social standards of living and all the comforts that go along with that, I can earn back my freedom. So I pitched this idea of living out of my car to friends and family, and most would say things like, that's insane, that's dangerous, you need a place to live, you need an address. Not even simply, you shouldn't do that, but you cannot do that. But my mind was made up and the plan made sense to me. I sold almost everything I owned, and as soon as the lease was up in my apartment, I moved into my car. I woke up in my car in the mornings, drove to the gym, exercised, showered, then I would drive to work, do my software engineering job, and then afterwards, maybe I'd go for a walk, go to the public library, read a book, go to Starbucks and work on my laptop or something, and then I would find a place to hunker down for the night, go to sleep, wake up, and do it again. And that was how I lived life every day out of my car until after about a year of doing that and throwing every spare dollar I had at my student debt, I was finally debt-free. The point of the story isn't me relaying how I voluntarily lived like a hobo out of my car and wow, isn't that so neat? And I'm definitely not saying if you have debt, you should go do the same thing. The point I guess I'm trying to relay is that the rules of life are a lot more amorphous than people want you to think they are. People will try to tell you all the time what you can and can't do and what they think you should do. They will try to tell you what your life should look like, not because they have malicious intent, but because they truly believe they have a prescriptive answer of how life should be lived. And the reality is, they don't. No one does. Sometimes you need to imagine a new life and a new reality of your own. If I had listened to people back then and lived my life the way they thought I should live it, I would probably still be in debt and probably still be stuck in a job I hate. Instead, I spent one uncomfortable year of my life living out of my car, and I bought back my autonomy. I bought back my freedom. Without the burden of debt, I had a lot more agency to explore other ways of living life, other types of work, and it gave me the space I needed to pursue my music more seriously. There is no one correct way to live life. And sometimes when you're going against the grain of social norms and standards, it can be a little bit uncomfortable and kind of isolating. But if you're true to yourself, you'll know what to do, and the thoughts of others won't matter nearly as much.